this is a back-to-block game, so there are cross-ups, you have to hold backwards in whichever direction is backwards, or down back to block lows. The interesting defense mechanics, the crux of it, is going to be in your just defense. So that is where you tap backwards or tap down back as the attack hits, and you'll get this little glowing bubble to show that you've correctly just defended. So things like this exist in Street Fighter and Guilty Gear, like with an just guard in Guilty Gear, or like a perfect parry in Street Fighter 6. But the thing is, this doesn't change any frame data, it just changes the properties of when the attack hits you. So, not only will you get pushed back a lot less, so if someone's trying to do something unsafe, you might do this so that you're closer to them for a punish, or you can do it to stop your rev gauge increasing. So you get a little bit of a rev gauge decrease, so you cool down a little bit so you can go for more crazy offense. And also, you get a teeny bit of life backwards every time you do it. So if your opponent has a very predictable block string where they do like 3 lights in a row, you can get a solid little, 3 to 5% back of your life. So very cool if you know when to go for these. Pretty advantageous. Also, they obviously negate chip damage since you're getting life back. And also... it gives you ability to cancel into special moves afterwards. So you're getting a little bit of life back, a little bit of meter back, keeping your position in terms of spacing, and also having the ability, like Terry does here, to cancel into a special move to get a punish that you perhaps wouldn't get normally. So it can change the frame data in that sense. And hyper defense, by the way, is almost the exact same thing, but as I explain here, if you have very fastly hitting attacks that don't have any gaps in between them, like a multi-hitting move, you can do a regular block and then tap forwards on the second hit, and then you'll get this hyper defense. It has the exact same properties as a just defense, which is commonly shortened to JD. So HD and JD are basically the same thing, just performed with the opposite input for multi-hitting attacks. And so same thing, you get a little bit of life back, you don't take chip damage, you get some meter back, and you can cancel into moves. You can also cancel them into supers for these things called 0 frames, so really tricky to input, but you get a super move that comes out in 0 frames, so no matter how much recovery is on your opponent's attack, it's gonna hit them. So good ways of calling things out if you're just really amazing, I guess. Then on top of just defense and hyper defense, we also have our rev guard, which we've talked about already, but it's basically an easier way of getting a better guard state, because you just have to hold down the rev button, and then if you do get hit while you're holding down that rev button, you'll just get the benefits of taking no chip damage, and you'll actually get pushed further away than normal, unlike the JD, which you stay closer than normal. So you have the option of staying close or getting pushed further away. The rev guard though will increase your rev meter, but it's a lot easier to perform because you don't have to tap the block button. You can just hold down the rev button and you'll get rid of any chip damage. So this is especially important if you're low life, because then you're going to want to block everything with the rev guard just to make sure you don't die. Right, so now let's just watch a little bit of footage by the amazing Justin Wong, or from Justin Wong's channel, and see if we can spot the defensive mechanics. Of course, we have the drive impact, because Kain is in his SPG state, so we can go for that. Nice little just defense.
We have B, Jeanette, Mai, Otaru. I'll try Kane out, just to try him out.
So that wake up reversal was not actually invincible, because things say they're invincible in this game. And as you can see, we just saw a little bit of a rev guard. Kain got pushed really far away after that crouching heavy kick. Crouching heavy punch. Look, they were pushed quite far away, so that Rock was actually in a better situation go for his nice long-reaching heavy kick here, where Kain maybe would have expected normally to be in a closer position where he would have gone for lights or something, but because Rock went for this rev guard, as you can see by the little orangeness there, they get pushed pretty far away, and then now Kain's like, hey yo, what's going on here? And then he gets conked by this long-reaching heavy kick.
Yeah, this is the new one. The open beta comes out in 2 days.
Tries to go for another block again. As we can see, 2 just defends there, and that actually leads into the game end for various reasons. So for the same reason of when you go for these defensive mechanics, you change the position of where you end up, and that can change how your opponent goes for offense, and thus maybe gives you a chance to go for your own offense from defense. So we've got these, jumping in. Of course, he did a good job blocking the cross up with the just defend, which means he doesn't take any chip damage, gets a meter back, and he also just defends the punch afterwards, because he doesn't change the frame data, so he's still probably very minus after that jumping attack. and then he just defends this little poke here. But because he just defends a little poke, he's extremely close, and Rock thinks that he's going to be pushed out a little bit after that. But so he goes for that little bit of a run. As you can see, he starts his running animation, so he goes to run in. But Kine is the one that knows that he just defended the poke, and he can go straight into his own offense instantly and interrupt Rock, because Rock is expecting him to be far away. And then he goes into this, and as you can see here, anything that's invincible is very clearly invincible. Even though that this is part of a combo, the game still makes sure to tell you, hey, hidden art, amazing cinematic super, that shit's invincible, bro.
He cooked that shit, right?
Alright, and two more quick notes for defense is that you have these defensive buttons, which is performed by pressing the rev button and your heavy punch. And you can do a standing version or a crouching version. So you can go a crouching version to go under highs, or a standing version to go over lows. So we can see various options of this here, where you've got Mai ducking under like a high hitting punch, and then she counters it and you get a nice big counter hit combo. You've got Jenny going over a sweep here, and you've got Kine going over another low hitting move, and whenever this happens you get a nice big punish. So these are your defensive type buttons, where you kind of get to counter things. Once again, performed by pressing the rev button and your heavy punch, or up, rev heavy punch. And also another note on the just defense is that it can be performed in the air. So you can get cool stuff like this. And this is what makes regular jumping stronger over hop jumping, because you can only do this when you do, you know, your proper high jump. So you get a little bit of potential defense if you can time it correctly. And another final note that I've found a little bit hard to find footage of is that when you fall down in this game, not only can you, wake up with your invincible specials, or not wake up with your invincible specials, you can also choose to roll forwards or backwards from your wake up. So rolling backwards, of course, you can use that to prevent the opponent going for cross-up Oki, or you can roll forwards a lot of cases if the opponent is not very smart when you're in the corner. And if you roll forwards while they're standing really close to you, you just roll through them, and you will be able to roll straight out of the corner. So it's a very good way of just being like, oh, are you going to stand really close to me and go for Oki that way? Okay, let me just roll out of the corner. So it's cool to have that little bit of option on your wake up as well. So that is your defense in this game.